Hey everyone, geophysicist Stefan Burns here. We are right now in an upsurge of energy that is unfolding not only here on Earth, but across the entire solar system. And this is unfolding across multiple timescales, different wavelengths of rhythms, longer duration, shorter duration. They all seem to be leading to a culmination moment in the near future. We have multiple lines of evidence for this. We're going to start with Kilauea because it just had its 31st eruption yesterday. I was there myself. I saw it. It was spectacular. And in fact, this was the strongest eruption that has occurred at Kilauea across its recent 31 episodes. They started back up in December of 2024, and well, now episode 31 has been the strongest. So the overall radiative power, as we can see here, was stronger than episode 30, which was stronger than the prior episode. And you can go all the way back in the data and see that in fact, the radiative power was the highest for this 31st eruption. Why does that matter? Well, Kilauea is part of the largest volcanic system on Earth, which is effectively the big island of Hawaii. There is a mantle plume, a hot spot, which feeds energy to the basically direct center of the Pacific plate, the largest geologic plate on Earth. And well, it's increasing in the amount of energy and magma flow and lava and more. So this is indicating just increased convection and energy flow through the deep Earth, reaching the surface. And this isn't the only evidence we have of this longer term trend of increasing energy activity in this energy upsurge. We also have solar activity. We are in solar cycle 25 maximum. It has been stronger than solar cycle 24 maximum, and we are still in that maximum period. That's probably going to start declining around the middle of 2026, and the descending phase will take us all the way to solar minimum around 2029, 2030, 2031. We are still in a period of greatly enhanced solar flux. This is radio flux, this is X-ray flux, extreme ultraviolet light radiation. All these measures are higher during solar maximum. And right now, one of these shorter term rhythms is that we have some big sunspots soon to rotate onto the Earth-facing side of the sun. Right now, they're on the eastern limb, hidden just a little bit out of view, but they will be showing up in just the next day or two on the Earth-facing side. And well, we had that huge far side coronal mass ejection that occurred, basically a massive solar explosion. We have had some other solar flares that have occurred recently. Overall X-ray flux is increasing at this moment in time. And so it looks like things are increasing as it relates to solar activity, and that we have a 2-week period ahead of us where things could get perhaps a little dicey. We will have to wait and see. We already have proton flux increasing from that massive explosion on the far side of the sun, showing just how powerful that was, because for there to be an explosion in that location on the sun, yet for it to push dramatically higher levels of energetic protons to Earth, means it's cutting across the normal flow of the solar wind, meaning it's a very, very strong explosion that occurred. And so if we get something like that to occur in a more favorable position, not only could that coronal mass ejection, which would likely launch out, hit the Earth, be a solar storm impact, trigger a geomagnetic storm, we could also have a very powerful radiation storm from that. And that is not an energetic influence that we've had in the recent couple weeks or even couple months. We've had a little bit of a break from these radiation storms, but we've had a lot of earthquake activity. So that's another one of these trends that we are seeing. We had that magnitude 8.8 megaquake on July 29th. And now just recently, we had that 7.5 magnitude earthquake in the Drake Passage. Interesting note about those two earthquakes is that they are nearly each other's antipode. And so you had that big megaquake in Kamchatka, and then nearly on the opposite side of the Earth, you have another big earthquake just to the south of South America and north of Antarctica, where there was a magnitude 7.4 earthquake in May earlier this year. So there seems to be a bit of a ping pong effect where you had this magnitude 7.4 Drake Passage, and then a couple months pass, boom, you get a magnitude 8.8 Kamchatka, and then less than a month later, boom, you get a magnitude 7.5 back in the Drake Passage. And so there seems to be this energy pinging back and forth between the two. And because we are in solar maximum, because of all these energetic changes occurring deeper within the Earth, which Kilauea and other volcanoes and their eruptive episodes are giving us a glimpse into, it seems likely that we are going to continue to see increased earthquake activity across the globe for the remainder of 2025 and into 2026. Now, the big disruptor to this entire system, Earth, Sun, solar system, perhaps even beyond cosmically, is 3I Atlas, this unusual interstellar object which is flying through our solar system at incredible velocities. Right now, its velocity is about 58 kilometers per second. When it has its perihelion, its closest approach to the sun, it will speed up as a result of the increased gravitational forces. It will go all the way up to 68 kilometers per second. This is very, very fast. So not only is it the largest interstellar object that we have ever observed, it's only the third one, of course. Its coma, its plasma dusty cloud that surrounds it, is 2 times the diameter of the Earth. It's also moving through very quickly, and it is moving through the inner solar system. Has a super close flyby to Mars around the end of September, beginning of October. Then it has its perfect planetary geometry with the Earth and the other planets in the inner solar system around October 21st, 22nd. Then it has its perihelion just about a week later. And then on its flyby out of the solar system, it will have a very close flyby to Jupiter. So it's very unique. It's interacting with some of the planets very directly, and it already seems to be increasing solar activity because all these recent solar flares and explosions and that mega explosion that occurred just a few days ago all happened effectively right in line with Mars and 3I Atlas. And so as it gets closer and closer and closer to perihelion, I personally expect there to be increasing solar activity, but we will just have to wait and see. But there is quite a bit of evidence supportive of that, namely the flyby of Oumuamua in 2017. Not only did we see some big X-class flares right around its perihelion, we also had a magnitude 8.2 earthquake in Mexico 1 day before its perihelion, September 8th, 2017, and then we had a double-digit X-class flare on September 10th. And there was also a very powerful X-class flare that occurred just a few days before that. So will we see something similar with 3I Atlas? We'll have to wait and see, but we're ready, it looks like, seeing effects from this. Disruptions to the overall electric circuit of our solar system. One way that this works is that you have this electric current that flows along the ecliptic plane in a spiral fashion inwards to the sun. And so effectively, the sun is aware of where all the planets are because it's been working with the planets. They revolve around the sun, and it's been doing this for millions of years, billions of years. And so there are flows and rhythms within the sun connected to all the different planets, but they are known forces and factors. Sometimes they come together in a planetary geometry that can enhance solar activity, but in general, it's an accounted for thing. Now you have this large plasmified object flying through the solar system. It effectively short circuits the normal system because it's bringing in this highly conductive body closer in where typically there isn't anything. So the electric circuit has a short circuit, like literally shorter to the sun. As a result, enhances the energy flow. And well, if you have any sunspots, these magnetic disturbances on the sun, and they have these double layers that build up charge and energy, when that new enhanced flow of energy flows through that double layer, that can cause these sort of explosions, which we call solar flares. And if there's a big enough destabilization, you get that coronal mass ejection. And so as it gets closer and closer and closer, its short circuit destabilization effect, I would think, is going to increase in potency, especially as sunspot numbers continue to rebound from their May lows. So I think we have a lot of solar activity ahead of us this fall. We have some very powerful planetary resonances I'll be following up immediately after that. First, we have to get through September, which is eclipse season. Happy new moon. We just had our new moon, everybody. The next moon will be a lunar eclipse. That is a full moon. And then after that, we have a partial solar eclipse. So we are firmly in eclipse season. And then that partial solar eclipse occurs within 24 hours of the equinox. Boom shakalaka. Then we're in October. On the first, we have 3i Atlas conjunct Mars, and heliocentrically, both of them conjunct Mercury and the Sun. And so that is also looking like it's going to be a very dynamic time, going all the way through the perihelion approach to the Sun, and then November itself is likely to be very active as 3i Atlas zooms away from the Sun, if it decides to do so. We can't really say that is what's going to happen until it happens. So we'll have to wait and see what this rogue interstellar object actually does as it moves through our inner solar system. There is a lot of uncertainty as to what it is. I think it's just most likely some sort of unique object that we don't have a classification on yet. It's not maybe 100% a comet. It's not 100% just a rocky body like an asteroid. It's probably something in between that has some unique plasma dynamics. And I think as it gets closer and closer to the Sun, it's going to increasingly plasmify as it heats up, and these volatile gases and water and other things get ionized, and it's going to become a stronger electromagnetic potential effectively, and therefore a greater short circuit disruptor. So that is your update for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I've been your host, Stefan Burns. Please smash that like button and help the channel grow. We are on the road to 500,000 subscribers, so please subscribe to join in on the Soul Tribe before we get there. We're going to blast past that pretty quick, I can assure you. And if you would like to help support the channel more, I have a whole bunch of holistic wellness products and merch available at www.earthevolution.com. The best earthing shoes, boots, and sandals on the planet are available at wildfreeorganic.com/store. Happy to help you out with those products. I'll be back with another video soon. Thank you all so much. Wishing all of you well. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next video.